My fellow Prague patriots, good evening to you all. We stand now at the dawn of a new age.
Didn't you just say it was evening time, fat ass?
Silence! We have just received word that the Mangini era is over. This was a terrible tragedy that should never have...
Would you say a fatal tragedy?
Cram it, Chowderhead. You guys promised me an opening monologue and so far haven't held up your end of the deal. Folks, Christmas has well and truly come early this year because Dream Theater have announced the return of Mike Portnoy to the fold. This is the best news we've had in years, and I like to see the fake news media try and spin their way out of this one. I might even go out on a limb here and say that with Portnoy now back at the helm as the rightful ruler of DT, we can expect to see peace in the Middle East by the time their new album drops.
Wow.
Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran will all negotiate peace treaties, and America will reign supreme as a global superpower once more. And that will be because I will be president and Portnoy will be back in Dream Theater. Really brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it, boys?
Jesus.
Knowing that we had the answer this whole time, we just couldn't see it. But now, with the heart of Dream Theater beating strongly once more, we can truly make America great again. God bless.
All right, fellas. Dream Theater tier list, part 2, the new millennium. I'd just like to preface this one by saying we recorded this several months ago, long before any murmurs of Portnoy returning had surfaced. As such, some of our comments might seem a bit dated in light of the recent news. But the passion is there, so we've decided to upload this one unabridged and intact.
Oh, fuck. Wait, hey, Barry, did that work?
That's great, Joe. Your mic sounds a lot clearer now. Right. Welcome back, everyone, to our Dream Theater album tier list, where we rank all of DT's studio projects from best to worst.
Do you boys ever get the sense that the world would be a better place if we stopped criticizing others' works and started producing our own? That perhaps our proclivity for these long-winded and often brutal critiques comes from our own unmet creative desires.
That's the gayest shit I've ever heard you say, D-bag.
Yeah, face it, Donald. We live in a consumer culture, and the quicker we can automate the creative process, thereby remove the fear, the stress, and the struggle while retaining works of similar or greater value, the better.
But don't you see that it is precisely because of the hardship that great works are created? Surely you don't believe that ChatGPT can emulate the works of Shakespeare?
It's the 1,000 monkeys argument. It absolutely can, and it's only a matter of time until it does. Better to let the dream die now and make these ferocious tier list videos than do something so antiquated as to create something all ourselves. Moving into 21st century now, we have the 2002 double LP, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence.
Whilst perhaps being a bit bloated, it's definitely their most varied and explorative work. I'll give it points for that.
Oh, you'll give it points for that? Where was that mentality when we were looking at Falling into Infinity? Your lack of consistency above all else is what will lead us into World War III.
Fuck up, loser.
Anyways, some decent writing on this one. Misunderstood and Blind Faith are criminally underrated.
Yeah, man, Glass Prison may be one of their heaviest jams ever.
And let's not forget, the 6 Degrees Suite has some great writing. It ebbs and flows so gorgeously, and Solitary Shell makes me cry.
That's because it's an autistic anthem and you're aspy as fuck, Donnie.
You wish you were as passionate as me about these things. Again, some great writing on this album, let down only by the Great Debate, which is a bit of a wank. Still, this album brought in the concept of the meta album.
What the fuck, Donnie? Meta album?
So go back and listen to the end of Scenes from a Memory. The static
from that bleeds into the beginning of 6 Degrees and the Glass Prison.
Misunderstood, the blind and basic are criminally underrated, and let's not forget the 6 Degrees Suite has some great writing. It ebbs and flows so gorgeously and Solitary Shell.
This is what you're listening to. How many hours of this shit have we listened to? I don't know what I was thinking when I started making this crazy video, but looking back at my life, I can say I saw hours fly by just looking at a screen. And you know, maybe the most important thing is taking some time out for me and listening to my own inner guidance system. Look, you don't have to listen to me. I'm just some guy on the internet, but, you know, I had to think, and I came to the conclusion that maybe we're on our computers just a little too much of the time. Yeah, so that's my video. It's kind of embarrassing, really, but I hope you like it, and subscribe to my Patreon and get all kinds of exclusive content. Okay, guys, peace.
Well, I'll be damned.
Let's see Mike Mangini come up with something like that. Not fucking possible. 6 Degrees is a high B tier for me.
Yeah, I'll give it a solid B.
3 for B, all right. Next up is Train of Thought. The metal album. I like the concept with this one. And As I Am always gets me so fucking amped. Like that solo is up there with Under a Glass Moon as one of Petrucci's best. I'll give it a high A tier.
The bass is mixed really well on this one. Like you can actually hear it for once.
And Stream of Consciousness might be their grooviest instrumental.
I'd say overall this one is as tight as it gets.
They're only let down by Rudis's dinky-ass synth tones. They just fucking suck and only seem to get worse with time. Having said that, it's a damn solid, cohesive, well-mixed record. A tier.
Some of the instrumental bits get a bit tiresome, but not enough to make me want to skip.
Bro, that's your chronic fatigue talking?
B tier.
I think these guys absolutely nailed it on this one, A tier. Despite Biden making a good point about some of the jams, they don't detract from the album as a whole. Up next is 2005's Octavarium, another classic right here. I particularly enjoyed the mathematical theme on this one. There's just so many Easter eggs in the music and the album art to keep you coming back for more.
You guys can't tell me you honestly enjoy the A side of this album? The Answer Lies Within is so goddamn cheesy. I have to switch it off whenever I hear it.
I really think that Octavarium is in their top 3. The title track alone is the stuff of legend. That main riff was my ringtone for years, boys.
I gotta say that this album is actually pretty mid. I Walk Beside You just makes me fucking cringe so hard. Kevin Moore would never have stood for that shit.
Donnie.
That opener takes a whole goddamn minute to kick in and is the most generic, middle-of-the-road, boring riff I've ever heard and is sadly one of the album's highlights. It sets the tone for a very average listening experience.
Wow, you two are both seriously going to pass on one of their most renowned albums? Surely it's at least A-tier material.
I'm not sorry, Barack, to follow Train of Thought and celebrate 20 years with this is a bit whatever. Don't get me wrong, Octavarium, the song is really quite strong, at a great feat for the band, but is sadly let down by what I can only describe as a saggy album.
Saggy?
It sags in the middle like a wet sandwich. The bread is good, but the filling is mushy apple bland. And don't even get me started on Rudis's weak as piss synth tones.
You already did.
Alls I'm saying is, sure, he can diddle with the best of them, but he's diddling with a micro penis. Man's got no girth.
Too right, Donnie. This is a very 2005 album and not in an iPod Mini Black Eyed Peas kind of way. For a band like this to be sounding like Linkin Park raises some serious questions. Do we agree on C tier?
You bet your ass, Bo. Mark it, Barry.
Geez, tough crowd. Not even Panic Attack? Would you two settle for a low B?
Don't make me drop it further, Chief. C is fine.
Yeah, it's not essential listening as a whole.
Fuck. All right, you guys, let's move on to 2007 Systematic Chaos. For me, this album straight up slaps. The boys got signed to Roadrunner and just brought the fucking thunder. I remember pumping Dark Eternal Night in the White House for weeks when that shit came out.
This album tries too hard. They just wanted to be cool and fit it on their new label, C tier. Save for Repentance, it lacks the emotional punch of other albums.
That's weird, because I really ripped into this album. Prophets of War is dope.
Really? That's your pick from this shit? Fuck me. America is in worse hands than I thought.
Dude, this album's 80 minutes of balls-to-the-wall brilliance. In the Presence of Enemies is the best damn album opener I've ever heard.
I can't believe it. Ministry of Lost Souls is so cringe. So is Forsaken, actually. Blah. The cracks really became apparent on this album, and this is the beginning of the end.
How can you say that, Donald? The performances on this album are infallible. Ampush, images and words before it. Turned on a whole new generation to Dream Theater. It deserves at least a B tier for that.
You seriously can't compare this bullshit to anything from Images and Words. Nope, the heart was really waning on this one. It's definitely their midlife crisis album, and anyone who likes it should be embarrassed. C tier.
Well, I think that about puts it in B tier. Moving on to the last of the Portnoy era, we have 2009's Black Clouds and Silver Linings.
An absolute mess of an album. It's scrappier than a dog's breakfast and board. Thankfully, this is the last time we have any of Mike Portnoy's self-indulgences on a Dream Theater record.
I'm sorry, what? Portnoy is the bleeding heart and tortured soul of Dream Theater.
Oh, here we go.
He is the fearless Aries archetype who carried them to greatness.
Donnie?
He is the reason we have the name Dream Theater.
Donnie, hey.
He lived and breathed this band. He collated all their archival and bootleg material and served as the interface between the fans and the band. He was their #1 fan.
Donnie, for fuck's sake.
One of the most technically gifted drummers of all time, and also one of the funnest.
You done?
You can't say that about the absolute cyborg they replaced him with.
All right, look. Portnoy made a valuable contribution to the band, no two ways about it. But come on, Donnie, it's been 13 years since he left. Dream Theater has well and truly moved on.
You're such a goddamn moderate Barry. Sometimes I wonder where your real opinion lies if you weren't doing so much window dressing all the time. Anyways, Black Clouds has the unforgettable Nightmare to Remember, the OK Rites of Passage, the admittedly awful Wither, the epic conclusion to the 12-step suite, a fitting goodbye to Portnoy's father in the best of times, and the sublime Count of Tuscany.
I will say that Count of Tuscany live is a religious experience.
Too bad you never saw Portnoy perform at Joey Come Lately.
Hey, I can't help the fact that they kicked that alcoholic out before I got into them.
Take that back, you monster, or I fucking walk. How dare you? This album is the perfect end note to both Portnoy and the band as a whole. What comes after is a pale imitation of the band we know and love. I give it a low A tier. What do you say, Bear?
The opener and closer on this album is tight as hell. It definitely struggles in the middle there. The Shattered Fortress is a bit of a letdown for the AA suite. I'm not sure how else they would have done it, but it's just nowhere near as memorable as, say, Glass Prison or Repentance. So I give this one a B tier.
A rite of passage is straight dog shit. The Shattered Fortress is so unnecessary. We've heard it all before, but done better. They could have cut this shit, and the album would have been better for it.
What did you expect? It's a suite of songs spanning 5 albums. Of course, it's going to reference all that came before it. Have you ever been to the theater? Because this is Dream Theater we're talking about.
Don't care. It's a low C for me.
B tier it is. All right, I've had enough. That was a punish. Let's park it here and do a trilogy.
Fine, whatever, bro. We've done all the important albums anyways. I'm only coming back to make sure none of the remaining albums don't go above D tier.
Yawn. You're so fucking predictable. But yeah, Barack, sounds good to me. I'm due for some cocoa and a nap. Ciao, Bella.
Portnoy rules.
Time for some Minecraft.